So we're back with another little genuine original owner, sat 30 years in his garage, unused. He had the dream about restoring it, but he never got round to it. It came with a spare set of tyres, pad set, but it's a January 984, so it's an NA4 Nottingham Mark 1 Raleigh mini burner. Let's get you into the bike and see what's wrong with it. It's got a few missing parts in it, a few non-standard parts. Let's get into it. So there it is. What a cracking little bike, absolutely stunning, it really is. So it's got a die-comp rear brake caliper, not correct to the bike. This would have had foreign gold brake set. The seat is very brittle in places, possible seized seat post. That's got to come off, the seat only, because I don't want to be damaging all the outside of this. I've got a spare seat if necessary, or I can get this one repaired. So it's a later Mark 1. It's got a black chainring. The early Mark 1s had the chrome silver chainring. This has got the maxi cross pedals. The earlier ones had the rat trap pedals. It's missing the front decals off the forks. The whole thing needs stripping down. Going up to the top here, the MX brake lever isn't correct to a bike. These are brakes it would have had, so the pre-bent levers and calipers are foreign, like that. You see, like a foreign brake, so that's correct to the bike. It's got red cable and a black cable. I'm not sure, I think it would have had black cables from original stock. The whole thing needs stripping down. It came with the pad set. He says these were original to a bike. I don't doubt him, because he had it all its life. He had it since 1984. But these are the poppers. So I think the later Mark 2s, no, the later Mark 1, sorry, had the Velcro pad set. So these are poppers. So there are a few things to move on to get back my money, or get back percentages of my money. It was a cheap bike, to be fair. I've bought more expensive bikes in worse condition, but I've got a few things to move on to recuperate some of my cost. I might move these on. Like I said, the rear brake caliper, the lever up there, not correct grips. Would have had the yellow and red dotties, or the what are they called? The other ones up on the screen now. Anyway, let's get it stripped and let's see what it's like. First things off, first of all, pedals off, then we can access that crank and get that off, that bottom bracket. So just releasing the seat clamp now, the R-nut comes off, the seat bolt comes off, and a little nudge with a spanner to get that seat clamp out. SR stem, top removed, 4 Allen key bolts. Then you need a 5th Allen key bolt to remove the stem itself. 30 by 32 wrench to release that top nut, and out comes the SR stem. So some decent parts removed so far. SR stem is in really good condition, to be fair, just in good clean, no snaps. Bit of brazing there. SR stem, Japan. Good top section. It's good. That's the seat there. So you can see it's very brittle. It's an Iscali seat. Apart from those little nicks around the side, it's actually not too bad. So look at the seat guts. Are they Cashamax? I doubt they are. No, standard seat guts on that. Obviously, the maxi cross pedals, which, to be fair, aren't that bad condition. I've seen a lot worse. But yeah, let's carry on. Rest of the bike. Let's get those brake calipers off, cut those cable ties, brake calipers. Oh, I've speeded up this clip. You don't want to see me messing around here with a spanner for about 3 minutes. So speeded up this little clip here. Just removing the brake caliper itself, front foreign brake caliper. Now's a good time to ask you if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like. It helps the channel out immensely, and I love to see your support and your feedback. Let's get on now with the rest of this parts removal. And that's the rear brake caliper off. And sometimes you get lucky with these bikes. You can find a non-standard part that's actually worth some decent money. So Diacomp Type 1020, just down there, you can see it. So it's a 1020, it's date stamped 982. See, 1020, and then I believe that is January 82. So it's a really early Diacomp rear brake caliper, and that alone is worth some serious money. Yeah, so that's going to be sold separately. I'm going to sell the pad set separately, get a shot of them. This is the MX lever, Diacomp MX brake lever. Get these mushroom grips off, and yeah, some decent parts to sell. But let's have a look at a bike now when the brakes are off. And it's a decent frame, decent, no serious damage to it or cracking to the paint. Obviously a standard wear. Let's get our bottom bracket off and the headset off. That's a headset. So you've got the locking nut and this little ring here. And obviously this hasn't been off since it was probably new. So just get a little knife and just gently free it up like that from the base. And that'll then lift off. And this one will just unscrew like that. If you try and unscrew this bit with that little ring in, then it can jam. So it's a free order, free process removal of that top headset. And once it's cleaned up, it's going to look okay. Give it a good wire wall and some auto sole. Then we get into the bearings. Lift them out. That's a headset there. And to be fair, no ball bearings are missing. The cage is nice and present. Just needs a really good clean and some fresh grease. Doesn't look too bad, to be fair. The cups are good. Let's get those forks out. So front wheel nuts. Knock them out. And the same with the other side. And you've got front wheel nuts, those little fork end tags. Get everything off and get it stripped and get it cleaned. This is cool, look, we got a, back in the day you used to put stickers on your bike. This one is Clark's cables. They were supplying our brake cables in the 70s, 80s. Nice cool sticker. Nice straight forks. We've got a Leo freestyler tyre, which is actually not too bad. About to get sold on as well. Some decent parts going back in the market to help other bikes get rebuilt. So fork end tags off. Looking nice. That's time for bottom bracket. You want a 30, 32mm spanner. Just to get in there, like that. And hit it. Let's just zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Try and capture everything I can. In there. And then you just hit it down. Like that. There you go. You want a separate little pot for your bits. So your bottom bracket ring comes off there. And this one comes off. That's it, get that last remaining nut off. Happy days. And then that will release the bearings in there. Little knife and gently put them out. That's the bottom bracket bearings removed, very, very dry. So they're going to need a good clean, literally no grease left on them. Good clean and fresh grease. Get those bottom bracket cups out. So what I do is I put an old seat post in here and hit it with a mallet. Get those bottom bracket cups out, give everything a good clean. Get a muck out of there and fresh oil. Looking good. And that's the back wheel nuts off. So the chain tensioners. These with the wheel nuts is really cool, like blue old school upgrade back in the day. Like these blue wheel nuts, so they're actually quite nice. I might sell them separately. So yeah, some decent parts to sell on. Looking good. And that's the condition of a bare frame. Decent decals, all intact. So we've got a carbo spec 23 frame. Bit of brace in here, maybe touch up paint from the old school days, but a nice original frame, nice and straight. The dropout's all good. It's a really good clean. some colour compound, a really good clean up there. Head badge is good. Goes headset cups out, obviously, and the bottom bracket cups out. The bottom's all good, nice and straight. Nothing untoward going on. Around the seat post area, it's nice and tidy, nice and straight. Look at the frame. When you take a bike apart, just assess it. Look at the condition of the frame. That just needs a good clean, and that seat post removed. That's the crank and chainring. Standard sort of like wear, to be fair. No massive dings. Needs a little bit of straightening out just there, so you can do it probably now. Just put a knife or something and just straighten it out like that. But yeah, decent little parts. Forks all good. We got the fork end plug still intact. The back wheel, the free wheel is knackered. The chap gave me a spare free wheel I can use, but I do have a spare set of Raleigh Burner Mark 1 wheels in better condition than this, so I might just use that back wheel I have spare and sell on. There's no, it should lock in place, so when you go, it should do that all the way round. You see it like locking, so probably bearings buggered in there. I might try and take this apart and try and work out what's going on there, but worst case scenario is I've got a spare back wheel if need be. The front wheel, surprising enough, will clean up nice. It's a good couple hours work. I made a start when I was at a man's house, just with some auto solder and a wire brush I had in the car. So that will get cleaned up well. This old school tyre, I'll have to do some research on this to see if it's worth anything. But it's a Leo Freestyler. Maybe American, I'm not too sure, but the front tread isn't too bad. It's like a slick, so that'll get cleaned up. Wheel will go again. Decent parts here. I'm pleased with the bike so far. That's a back tyre, front inner tube. It's had a punch repair kit back in the day, and that's the that tyre I was on about. Quite a cool tyre, to be fair. I'll check on sold prices and put it on the screen now if it's worth anything. But yeah, another one to get sold. And that's a back wheel, which you've seen, haven't you, already? But yeah, that is a really, this tyre here, it's an original snake belly changing, but I doubt it's worth saving. I'll put it on the tyre pile in the garage and see at some point it might come in handy. But yeah, decent little bits, decent little setup. Chuffed with those little bits, really pleased. So there are parts. I'll be moving on. We've got a pad set, full pad set. That's got the inners. The poppers need replacing or cleaning. That one there, and there's 3 gone there. We've got the die-comp brake rear caliper. We got a rear red cable, Iscali seat, and then this freestyler Leo tyre. Those bits are going to get sold on because they are not required for this bike. So moving over to the workbench, these are the parts I'm keeping for this build. So obviously the frame set, forks and frame, this chain ring, all the little nuts and bolts I'm keeping. Obviously just need fresh oil, fresh grease and good clean. So acid bath all these. Gonna sell on these little nuts because they're quite cool. Gonna sell them on. Chain tensioners, acid bath all these, get them looking lovely. SR MS422 stem, obviously that's getting kept. So part 2 on this will be the paint correction and detail on the frame. Apparently that Maguire's compound is really good for bringing back the shine. Gonna have a look at that little bit of patch up there, see if I can rub it down. Obviously seat post, gonna soak that between the video, bit of WD-40 or GT85, soak that and put another seat on, like an old Brooks RSW seat, whatever it is, really tight, and use that as a clamp. The bar's obviously getting kept. That's getting kept. That's the original lever, and it would have had obviously the foreign brake caliper. So I need to source a rear foreign brake caliper and a rear foreign brake lever. That MX die comp brake lever is getting sold. These are quite cool. Look, these little beadings you used to put on your bikes back in the day. Obviously the wheels are being part 2, going to get looked at, cleaned, assessed. There's a lot of work to do with this bike. It's not just a case of like cleaning it and trying to make a profit on it, because you're not going to. You've got to get everything stripped down, cleaned, assessed. All parts missing got to be replaced. Correct period parts have got to be replaced. Obviously get these headset cups out, like I said, an old seat post, or as a tool, but I use this old seat post and just hammer it out with a rubber mallet. But I've seen worse frames, I really have. This one's really quite lovely and clean. There's a good clean. Obviously that's the train guard, that needs stripping down. Obviously get that, there's a bolt you put on that, adjustable spanner, undo that nut there which releases the one-piece crank and that chain ring. Get that all cleaned up and polished up. That's going back on. And obviously the maxi cross pedals are going back on. Just going to get really good clean on them. Yeah, good clean on them. Decent little parts. Like I said, I'm going to move on some of the parts I don't want to bring the cost of this down, and then you've got a ballpoint figure of what you can achieve in asking for this, taking into consideration the parts you need to buy, like the rear caliper, the rear lever. It came with Velcro pad sets, so I need to source some Velcro pad sets for this. Yeah, overall pretty pleased with this latest little project for the channel. I hope you like the content. So I've not been out much recently, doing some videos. Update on the little VW Caddy that's booked in for emissions. We're going to look at the emissions on that and then go from there. Once the emissions are done, then I can look at the welding and getting some bits done. Having a good clear out and tidy up. I've still got that chopper with the stuck in seat post. Still got that. It's been on marketplace. Had a little bit of interest in it. I'm going to reduce the price and move it on. It's too much work. The frame is really worse than I thought. I'm going to just move it on, make a small drink, sell off some of the parts from it, move it on. Still got the Quicksilver chopper. That's going to get sold on. I want to put money into that little van and concentrate more on like quick projects like this little burner here. Just quick, sort of like, that's what's wrong with it. Easy enough to fix up, get it out the door, get it gone. That's sort of, I don't want stuff kicking about for weeks on end. The little Hawk Scorcher BMX, still got that. That's going through some cleaning at the minute. Various little bits. All bits listed will go onto my eBay page, Mannequin9494. They might go on at some point today, so when this video pops out, you might even miss them. I apologise for that, but follow the page anyway, because I just put on some really cool stuff as and when I come across it. This is part 1, so part 2, like I said, will be the frame assessment, all the bits need cleaning. That's part 2. Maybe a 4-part video on this little Mark 1 Raleigh burner. Mark 1 Raleigh burner. I love it. Nice little bit of kit. Nice to have one again. Let's just see where it takes me. I might even keep it. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Leave a comment and a like. I'll see you in a few days on the next one of this. Tomorrow, we're dropping another video that's already been filmed. An ex-Raw Mail bike. So that's a good bit of fun. I'll see you in a couple of days.